Hydra, the water snake, is the largest constellation in the sky. It lies in the southern hemisphere, stretched across 102.5 degrees. Hydra's head is located south of the constellation Cancer, and its tail lies between Centaurus and Libra. The constellation was first catalogued by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century. It represents the Lunarian Hydra from the Greek myth of Heracles' 12 labors. Sometimes it is taken to represent the water snake from the myth about the crow that tried to trick the god Apollo by blaming the snake for its tardiness in fetching the god some water. Notable deep sky objects in Hydra include the open cluster Messier 48, the globular cluster Messier 68, the southern pinwheel galaxy, the Hydra cluster of galaxies, Tombaw's globular cluster, the Ghost of Jupiter Nebula, and the spiral galaxy ESO 510 G13. Hydra is the largest of the 88 constellations. It occupies an area of 1,303 square degrees in the night sky. The constellation lies in the second quadrant of the southern hemisphere and can be seen at latitudes between positive 54 degrees and negative 83 degrees. Hydra belongs to the Hercules family of constellations. In mythology, Hydra constellation, as depicted by the Greeks, is an adaptation of the Babylonian constellation Muldinger-Mus, which was one of the 2 Babylonian constellations that represented a serpent and loosely corresponded to Hydra. The other constellation corresponded to the Greek constellation Serpent. The Babylonian constellation represented a mythological hybrid of a serpent, bird, and lion. In Greek mythology, Hydra had 9 heads, and one of them was immortal. The celestial cluster of Hydra is depicted with only 1 head, presumably the immortal one. The monster lived near the town of Lerna, where it ravaged the land and killed the cattle. Heracles, faced with a difficult task, first shot flaming arrows into the Hydra's lair and smoked it out. Then he fought with it, smashing the creature's heads one by one with his club. Every time he smashed one, 2 new heads would grow in its place. While the 2 fought, Heracles was distracted by a crab, which crawled out of the swamp and attacked his foot. Heracles killed the crab, and Hera, a sworn enemy of his, placed it among the stars as the constellation Cancer. Heracles was able to defeat the Hydra when his charioteer Leleus helped him by burning the stumps of each head that Heracles struck off, and eventually Heracles cut off the immortal head and buried it under a rock. He dipped his arrows in Hydra's poisonous blood, which would eventually lead to his own death. Interested in viewing Hydra? You can get started in your quest to tame this sky snake by finding a place with a wide-open view to the south. To see the entire constellation, you'll need to be out around 11 o'clock in late March or 9:30 p.m. in mid-April. Start with the brilliant planet Jupiter, due south at that hour. Not quite a fist below the planet, you'll spy the compact arrangement of 5 stars that form the snake's head. From there, it's an easy drop down to Alphard, Hydra's solitary bright star, shining pale orange at the 2nd magnitude.